Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Thursday part of our week 9 lesson. This video will be going over the second part of Hilliard's chapter 4 on commercials and announcements. Now, organizing commercials is really important because knowing what your main purpose is and what you are trying to persuade people to do in your commercial is really the ultimate goal of any kind of commercial, whether it is a commercial of a product, whether you are trying to do a PSA or even a promo. The purpose of any type of commercial is to persuade. So we have to remember our persuasion theories back from our chapter on persuasion. We learned about Aristotle's ethos, pathos, and logos. We know Maslow's hierarchy of needs, social learning theory, motive appeals. So think back to those different persuasion theories and how those could be used within a commercial setting. Now, there are also 5 steps to persuasion that Hilliard's chapter talks about, and we're going to be using those as we write our commercials in the coming weeks. So, the first step in organizing commercials is getting the audience's attention. If you've ever taken public speaking, you know an attention getting device is something that is necessary to get your audience to listen to you. The same thing for commercials. In fact, for commercials, it's almost more important for you to get your audience's attention because this is when the audience goes to the bathroom, goes and grabs a snack when they're watching their favorite program. So you're really having to compete with a lot of different distractions when you are producing a commercial. Typically, advertisers have between 1 and 3 seconds to get their audience's attention. So, in order to do that, you have to think about what are the visual elements that will help grab the audience attentions? What sounds can I use? Humor is usually an effective way to get an audience's attention. Also, using rhetorical questions, vivid descriptions of things, presenting something new or unique, or presenting conflict. These are all things that have been proven to be effective attention getters. Here is a Super Bowl ad from 2018 that showed something unique and different in the style of its ad.
That's not a knife. That's a knife. That's me.
Really? Whatever. You all right there, mate?
Just getting a clean shave with my machete.
See you next week, Barry.
Not a lot of crocs out here, huh?
It's just 37,000 miles of pristine beach, mate. Did you know that Australia makes some of the finest wines in the entire world?
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Wait, hold up. This isn't a movie.
No.
It's a tourism ad for Australia.
Yes. But listen, you're the best Crocodile Dundee since Crocodile Dundee.
Really?
Yes, really. And we had the best trip ever, didn't we?
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Hey, you know, there are some great flight deals to Australia right now.
Dude, I get it. It's not a movie, it's a commercial.
So, in this ad that actually came from Australia's tourism group, they present this fake film using beautiful images, humor, actors, climax, conflicts. And so you can see that this is an attention getting device because while you might ignore a typical tourism ad, you might be more interested in a movie trailer, especially when that's a comedy or anything that includes Chris Hemsworth. I know I'm more interested in watching things like that. So that is one example of an attention getting device commercial. Now, the second step in organizing persuasive commercials is to hold the audience's interest. So once you get their attention, now you have to keep it. And so there are various ways to do this. The first is to present a mini drama, a story that you're able to tell in 30 to 60 seconds that keeps the audience engaged from beginning to end. Is showing conflict and whether or not the actors within that mini drama, that 30-second commercial, are going to get the resolution or climax that they need. Other examples that your textbook provides are anecdotes, testimonials, stats, examples, visuals, and sounds. Here's another example of holding audience interest through mini drama.
come on. We gotta get out of here.
Must go faster.
How do you like it now, my friend?
Would you like to take it for a test drive?
I just did.
So, really, in the matter of a minute, Jeff has just taken us through Jurassic Park, but for a Jeep commercial. And so you can see that we are following this mini drama of whether or not he's going to beat the T Rex in his Jeep. It brings us a sense of nostalgia for the movies. It is its own sense of drama and conflict. And we want to see what happens to him in the end. And so all of these things helped hold the audience attention for a full minute. Another element of organizing commercials is after you get the audience's attention and you keep it, you have to show them that there is a problem that needs to be solved. And that problem needs to be something that the audience can relate to. It can either be a subtle hint at a problem, or it can be a very direct, hey, you have this problem. The other thing to consider here is that Maslow's needs and also the motive appeals work really well for the problem solution style of commercials. So here is a commercial that shows a problem and tries to address it within the commercial.
Hello, I'm a Mac.
Mac is issued a salutation, cancel or allow.
Allow, and I'm a PC.
You're returning Mac salutation, cancel or allow?
Allow.
Okay, what gives?
Mac is asking a question, cancel or allow?
Allow. He's part of Vista, my new operating system. PCs have a lot of security problems, so he asked me to authorize pretty much anything I do.
You're pointing out Vista's flaws, cancel or allow?
Allow. I could turn him off, but then he wouldn't give me any warnings at all, and that would defeat the purpose, so
You are coming to a sad realization, cancel or allow?
allow.
So the Mac versus PC ads, there was a whole series of these that came out, and it really showed the problems that PC had compared to the Mac. And so it was showing the various problems that being a PC users would have, and it subtly suggested that having the Mac would prevent you from having these problems. Now, of course, if you present a problem, you're going to want to show a solution. And your solution needs to be the thing that you want the audience to do. The solution often comes through the product that you're trying to sell, or you can suggest that the audience's participation or donation to a nonprofit through a PSA or a promo will help the larger issue that you're trying to solve. Now, the solution should help the audience realize that if they had your product, this problem that you've presented will go away. And so it's a resolution to Maslow's needs in a sense. Here's an example.
Mike, what is your deal, man?
Come on, man. You've been riding me all day.
Mike, you're playing like Betty White out there.
That's not what your girlfriend said.
Baby! Eat a Snickers. Better?
Better.
That hurt.
You're not you when you're hungry. Snickers said.
So, in the grab a Snickers or you're not you when you're hungry campaigns that came out, Snickers was saying that when you're not acting like yourself, the solution to acting more like yourself is to eat a Snickers so you're not hungry. May seem silly, but it's actually a very effective solution because now you're associating your hunger with eating a Snickers. Now, the fifth and probably most important element of commercials, maybe other than getting the audience's attention, is having a strong emotional, logical, or ethical appeal. This is the call to action for your product. It's whatever you're asking the audience to do. It's putting your item on a grocery list, mailing in a donation, buying whatever that thing is that they really need, or even just creating a strong enough impression that they'll want to use your product or services in the future. So, having a strong emotional, logical, or ethical appeal is really, really, really critical because it's inevitably what you're persuading your audience that they need to actually be doing. So, here's an example of a logical appeal. Of course, logical appeals are those that use facts and evidence to convince someone that you have the best product or solution for what they need.
New moms have their own way to test everything. But do they test their baby's soap? This paper represents proteins in your baby's skin. Ordinary baby soap weakens the proteins. Baby Dove Bar is different. Only Baby Dove with our 1/4 moisturizing cream leaves baby skin more nourished with every bath.
So, here the logic is that if the product provides more moisture, it's better for your baby's skin. Just a reminder, our skin is not made out of paper. However, that was the element that they were using to appeal and persuade people to buy their product in saying that it was better than the competitors. So, this is an example of a logical appeal. Here is an example of an ethical appeal, also from Dove.
Girl, you're so young. But you see everything. What if we could show you a vision of beauty where no woman or girl were excluded?
Where fitness comes in all sizes.
Where all hair is professional.
Onde toda a pele é bonita.
Where we're shown exactly the same as everyone else.
Что женственность может быть сильной.
Where beauty isn't binary.
Donde mis canas se ven fantásticas con rojo.
Because if we show you a world where every woman is seen, then girl, you'll show us all.
I think it's like really important that there's at least one kid who can like see themselves in me. People have this idea that you have to be brave to be who you are.
It would mean so much not to be seen as different.
I'm glad that some little girl is going to see me and think, I could run that boardroom.
So, for this campaign, this uses an ethical appeal to suggest that using Dove means that you're doing the right thing for beauty and for girls' esteem in this sense, because they are wanting to be more inclusive and shattering beauty stereotypes. And so it drives you to think that this product, this company, this campaign is ethical and therefore you should use it. Now, our final appeal is an emotional appeal, and this can be a humor appeal. It can produce the emotions of anger or guilt. If you think about like the Sarah McLachlan really sad ASPA commercials, like it's meant to guilt trip you into donating money to help these poor, sad animals. But emotional appeals can come in many forms. Here is one of my recent favorites from the latest Super Bowl.
Hey Google, show me photos of me and Loretta. Remember? Loretta hated my mustache. Remember? Loretta loved going to Alaska and scallops. Show me photos from our anniversary. Remember, she always snorted when she laughed. Play our favorite movie. Remember, I'm the luckiest man in the world. Come on, boy.
So this ad uses an emotional appeal of a man remembering his wife through services that Google provides. And even if in your teenage years or your young adult years don't necessarily need to be reminded in this way, it shows you all the products and services that Google offers, but in a way that you can emotionally connect to. And so that's the purpose of an emotional appeal. Now, Chapter 4 also talks about storyboarding, which is an important aspect of producing commercials. A storyboard is the visual contents of the commercial, PSA, or promo that are critical to the storytelling element. It comes after the process of forming the basic idea and getting your appeal approved. Then you will do a storyboard. That's the next step in the process. Now, a storyboard is just going to be a series of drawings showing what the scenes will look like. It's a sequence of pictures, actions, optical effects, camera angles and distances, and even the settings that you want things to look at. And then you pair it with the dialogue. Typically, you do it underneath. Here you can see it put off to the right. That also include music and sounds that may be included. Now, remember, music and sounds are a very critical aspect of commercials. In fact, the song or the sounds can be the entire commercial. And there are many commercials that rely solely on a few written words, no spoken words, and then just the company logo. In fact, this was one of the most popular ad campaigns in the early 2000s from Apple.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So that's the whole commercial. There's never a spoken word in it. It's just meant to show you how much fun you can have dancing with a new iPod, which was so cool back in 2004. But this ad relies only on music. So remember, music and sounds can be very critical to the storyboarding process of commercials. Now, typically storyboards are first generated by the writer. And if you are like me, that terrifies you because as a writer, I know that I'm good at words, but I don't necessarily have great artistic talent. So storyboards can either be very simple or they can be very complicated. It's really up to you and your ability, and then also what your firm or company has available. So larger agencies often pair writers with artists, but you need to be prepared even as a writer to be able to do storyboards even in their most basic form, because if you're working in a small shop, if you're the only person who is working for the organization, like if you're working for a nonprofit like I did, storyboards are going to be important. I used to have to draw storyboards, and I'm telling you, they were stick figures. but they got the idea across enough for me to sell the idea of the commercial or PSA that I was producing. Now, final storyboards are almost always prepared by artist. I'm sorry, it says usually always. They are usually prepared by artists if your company has the funds to do that. So what you usually take to the client to propose or to the actual photo shoot for the director and then videographer to produce is usually a little more artistically done, but the original storyboards can be as simple as basic stick figure drawings. So that's your assignment for this week. You're going to do a storyboard critique. I want you to pick any commercial. Make sure you include the link in your actual storyboard and critique. And that way I can see the commercial and make sure that you're storyboarding it correctly. You're going to draw out the storyboard. Again, stick figures are fine. You can also use Canva and clip art to create it as well. Use whatever talents you have to produce this storyboard. Make sure you include the script, sound, and music direction, and make sure you have a frame for every new camera angle for the storyboard. So anytime a location changes, anytime a camera angle changes, produce a new frame for the storyboard. Then include a brief critique about what type of appeal was used and whether it was effective. This will be due Thursday, November 5th at midnight. So make sure you do your critique. You can also do your discussion board, which is on Storyboards. And I hope you guys share ideas about how you can draw and create these storyboards, because more and more of these are being produced digitally. So if you have a program that you like to use that will help you out with this project, please share that on the storyboard. And finally, we'll read the end of this Hilliard chapter 4, pages 96 through 119, and discuss those next week. Hope you guys are having a great week. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions.